Hip-hop has always been defined by its larger-than-life personalities, and few loom as large as Nas and Jim Jones. They represent two different, yet equally vital pillars of New York City's rap legacy. Nasir Jones, better known as Nas, emerged from the Queensbridge housing projects to become one of the genre's most revered lyricists. His 1994 debut album, Illmatic, is widely considered a masterpiece, a benchmark for poetic storytelling and intricate rhyme schemes. For over 3 decades, Nas has been a symbol of lyrical excellence, a poet of the streets who elevated the art form with his profound observations and complex narratives, solidifying his status as a living legend. On the other side of the city, hailing from Harlem, is Jim Jones. As a founding member of the influential crew, the Diplomats, or Dipset, Jones brought a different kind of energy to the game. His impact was built on style, slang, and an undeniable swagger that defined an entire era of hip-hop culture in the early 2000s. While Nas was the poet, Jones was the charismatic hustler. His music, characterized by its raw energy and street-level authenticity, created anthems that resonated deeply with a generation. Jones's influence extended beyond music, shaping fashion and attitudes with the Dipset movement's signature flair, making him a cultural icon in his own right. The careers of these two artists have followed vastly different trajectories, reflecting their unique contributions to the culture. Nas built a legacy on consistent critical acclaim and a reputation as a rapper's rapper, someone whose pen is always sharp. He engaged in one of hip-hop's most legendary battles against Jay-Z, a lyrical war that only served to cement his place in the pantheon of greats. His catalog is a testament to longevity and artistic evolution, proving that substance can endure over decades. He is the quiet storm, the thoughtful observer whose words carry immense weight and respect within the community. Conversely, Jim Jones's success is measured by his profound cultural impact and his ability to capture the zeitgeist of a specific moment in time. Hits like We Fly High, Ballin' became more than just songs. They were cultural phenomena that echoed from street corners to sold-out arenas across the country. Jones has consistently reinvented himself, staying relevant through reality television, business ventures, and a savvy understanding of the modern media landscape. He represents the flamboyant, entrepreneurial spirit of hip-hop, proving that influence isn't just about record sales, but about shaping the way people talk, dress, and carry themselves. The simmering tension between these two New York titans exploded into a full-blown public conflict in the summer of 2025. The initial spark was lit in the modern-day town square of hip-hop discourse, the podcast circuit. During an appearance on the popular Don't Quote Me podcast, a debate erupted after a college student claimed to be more influenced by the cultural wave of Jim Jones than the lyrical prowess of Nas. This comment set the stage for what was to come. Jones, never one to shy away from a bold statement, seized on the moment, and the seeds of a new rap beef were officially planted in the fertile ground of online debate. The situation escalated dramatically when Jim Jones appeared on the Joe and Jada podcast on June 19, 2025. Instead of downplaying the comparison, Jones doubled down with audacious claims that sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community. He controversially stated, "What I did for Nas recently probably has never been done in his life," suggesting that by simply creating the comparison, he had done Nas a favor on par with his historic battle with Jay-Z. He further fanned the flames by asserting that his own son couldn't name a single Nas song, a comment designed to question the Queensbridge legend's relevance with a younger generation. After years of being a respected but often reserved figure, Nas delivered his response not in an interview, but where he has always been most comfortable: on a track. In mid-July, an alternate version of a new Raekwon song titled The Omerta surfaced online. The track, part of Mass Appeal's Legend Has It series, featured a blistering verse from Nas that was unmistakably aimed at Jones. With lines like, "Got smoke with me?" "Beef with yourself?" and "You got me confused with your fabricated form of delusion," Nas dismissed Jones's claims with surgical precision, portraying them as the ramblings of someone out of touch with reality. The fan reaction was immediate and intense. Social media platforms and hip-hop forums lit up with discussion and debate as fans dissected every line of Nas's verse. For many, it was a classic Nas performance, a reminder of the lyrical giant who could dismantle an opponent with words alone. Supporters of Jones, however, defended his position, arguing that his cultural impact was being unfairly dismissed. The beef had officially moved from podcast chatter to wax, and the entire culture was tuned in, eagerly awaiting Jim Jones's next move and wondering how far this unexpected battle would go. When Jim Jones challenged critics to check my track record, he invited a direct comparison of his commercial success against that of Nas. Looking purely at the data from the Billboard charts provides a clear and compelling narrative about their respective careers in music. The numbers paint a picture of two artists who have achieved success on very different scales. Nas has demonstrated remarkable consistency and chart dominance over a span of more than 30 years. His discography includes an impressive 6 albums that have reached the coveted #1 spot on the Billboard 200 chart, a feat that places him in an elite class of hip-hop artists. Delving deeper into the album charts, the disparity becomes even more apparent. Nas has landed a total of 27 albums on the Billboard 200, with an incredible 16 of those projects reaching the top 10. This showcases not only his longevity, but also his sustained ability to connect with a large audience project after project. In contrast, Jim Jones has placed 9 albums on the Billboard 200 chart. While he has achieved significant success with 3 of those albums breaking into the top 10, he has never secured a #1 album, a key metric of peak commercial power that his Queensbridge counterpart has achieved multiple times over. The story remains consistent when examining their performance on the Billboard Hot 100, the definitive chart for single-song popularity. Over his illustrious career, Nas has charted 27 different songs on the Hot 100, with 2 of those singles climbing into the highly competitive top 10. This record highlights his ability to produce individual hit records that capture the national consciousness. Jim Jones, on the other hand, has had 2 songs appear on the Hot 100 chart. While one of those, the iconic We Fly High, Ballin', was a massive top 10 hit, his overall output of charting singles is considerably smaller. Ultimately, the statistical evidence heavily favors Nas in a head-to-head comparison of chart success. While Jim Jones rightfully boasts a catalog with gold and platinum records and a cultural anthem that defined an era, Nas's body of work demonstrates a higher and more sustained level of commercial achievement. The data shows that Nas has not only sold more records, but has also consistently outperformed Jones on both the album and singles charts throughout their long careers. This empirical evidence provides crucial context to the debate, grounding the passionate arguments in cold, hard facts from the historical record. This unexpected feud between 2 New York veterans raises a fundamental question about the state of modern hip-hop. What does a rivalry like this mean for the culture in 2025? On one hand, beef has always been an integral part of the genre's competitive spirit. From the legendary battles of the past to the present day, lyrical warfare has often been a catalyst for some of the greatest music the culture has ever produced. It pushes artists to sharpen their skills, defend their legacies, and create moments that become etched in hip-hop history. This conflict, in that sense, has undoubtedly generated excitement and conversation. However, there is another perspective to consider. Some critics and fans argue that this particular beef feels less like a clash of titans in their prime and more like a manufactured controversy for clicks and relevance. In an era dominated by social media algorithms and the relentless news cycle, there is a concern that conflict is being prioritized over creativity. The debate questions whether this is a genuine artistic rivalry or simply a savvy exploitation of the podcast ecosystem to generate buzz. Is the end goal to create timeless music, or is it to trend on X for a few days and drive streams through notoriety alone? The long-term impact of the Jones-Nas beef could steer the culture in one of 2 directions. It could inspire a new wave of lyrical competition, reminding a younger generation of artists that the power of the pen and the art of the diss track are still highly valued. It might encourage veterans to step back into the ring and defend their legacies, creating compelling content for fans. This path reinforces the traditional values of skill and competition that have long been the bedrock of hip-hop, proving that a sharp verse can still captivate the masses and command respect across the entire industry. Ultimately, whether this beef is good or bad for hip-hop will be determined by what happens next. If it fizzles out after a few podcast appearances and a single verse, it may be remembered as a minor clout-chasing skirmish. But if it inspires both Nas and Jim Jones to deliver powerful, focused, and high-quality music in response, it could be a net positive for everyone. The culture now stands at a crossroads, watching to see if this moment will lead to a renaissance of competitive spirit or simply become another footnote in the endless scroll of online drama. a fleeting spectacle soon to be forgotten.